Welcome to The Pestle, reviewing and breaking down movies to look for insights into the movie-making process. Hosted by Groundhog Day. Let's dim the lights and start the show.
It looks like you're frozen. Welcome, everyone, to The Pestle. Today's show is brought to you by Good Morning Earth. Start your day with Morbo's giant head of news. Wake up to Good Morning Earth. Welcome, everyone, to The Pestle. I am Wes.
And I'm Todd.
And I actually had to check my feed. I was like, wait, is he frozen? And we're filmmakers. We make things, and we like to watch films and, I don't know, see what they're doing in their films. What can we learn? What can we discover about storytelling and the movie making process and all that kind of stuff? I mean, dude, I've been a fan of movies I didn't really watch a lot of TV growing up. I guess you could say I've been obsessed with movies for my entire life, Todd.
Oh, man. Nicely done.
And with that in mind, what are we covering today, my friend?
Today we are covering the new film Obsession, which at the time of filming this, recording this, is in the theaters. So pause this episode and go watch it because we're going to spoil all the things.
Yeah, we'll touch on a handful of things at least. Talk about some of the cinematography, silhouettes, and also dive into some of the sound effects and how they reveal story through sound. And also, a little bit of story and writing, maybe talk about obsessions and other such stuff and things and stuff.
And a quick synopsis of the film. After breaking the mysterious Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. It's written and directed by Curry Barker, cinematography by Taylor Clemons, featuring Michael Johnston as Bear, Indy Navarrete as Nikki, Cooper Tomlinson as Ian, and Megan Lawless as Sarah.
Bear, I love you so much. I don't think I could live without you.
You love me more than anyone in the world?
Yes, more than anyone.
Nikki,
Yeah?
does your dad really have cancer?
No. No.
What?
No. Don't do that! I thought we were having a nice day.
We are. Sit
Why
down.
does it matter? I thought we were having a nice
We are.
day.
We are. It's okay. We are.
Well, dude, so I think, over the last 1 or 2 years, we've covered a lot of new horror films coming out. Like, that's kind of our bag. We just like genre films in general, and horror makes more appearances than like sci-fi. So I feel like we just watch a lot of horror films, which is, my jam for sure. And I don't know. They're always a bit hit or miss. A lot of miss though, an awful lot of miss in the industry right now. And so new one, Obsession. What do you think, man? Did it hit the spot?
I really like this movie. I like it a lot. I think it's this year's Weapons. I really do. It's like, it's fun. It goes where it's going to go, and yet you're still scared or surprised by it. I mean, I saw it on Thursday, so it comes out on Friday, quote unquote, but it comes out Thursday night. And I got to see it on Thursday, packed house. The whole thing was sold out, except for maybe a couple seats in the front. And there were many times where the whole theater was either laughing at how crazy this chick was getting, and the crazy things she was doing, or they were just screaming, right? And like when she bashes herself in the face, or like when she breaks into the car and kills Sarah, which I knew was going to happen.
Everyone in the theater, right?
Everyone, because and they set it up so great. The cinematography is fantastic in this movie. Like the lighting and the cinematography are really great, and you could tell that these guys had a love for this genre and have done stuff like this before, because like the shot of her in the corner when he wakes up in the middle of the night, and then she does that movement or whatever, that quick movement.
Strafe.
I have never seen anything like that before, and it scared the living crap out of me. She did it twice in the movie, and both times I'm like, oh my God, please never do that again. But no, that shot when she breaks in and kills Sarah, like they set that up for, like you see the frame, they frame it so something's coming up in the background, and it, and it just doesn't. And it for like 2 minutes, they're talking and everything. And just every time it cuts back to her, you're like, I know it's coming now. Here it comes. No, it doesn't come. So it's not like, and even though it's a jump scare, it's earned its jump scare, because they're not trying to come out of nowhere and give you some and scare you in a way that you didn't expect. You're expecting this. You're waiting for it, and it still makes you jump and scares you. That's great. That's so great. It's worth it. I'm waiting for it. I know it's coming, and it comes, but it's still scary. Fantastic. I think that the acting is great in this. Michael Johnston plays he plays this character perfectly, where you love him, but he's such a wuss. Like, he's so pathetic that he deserves this, essentially. She literally asks him if he likes her, and he could have said yes, or he could have said something. Like, she literally handed it up on a silver, and that's great writing, by the way. Mm-hmm. Excellent writing. She hands it to him on a silver platter, and he's too big of a wuss to say what he really feels, or to even hint that he feels that way. I mean, he just backs up completely, and so that when it happens next, what happens next is he's totally deserving of, right? And I love that when he does the wish, and it happens, she's standing there on the porch. Because most scary movies, or like most movies like this, he would be mad at himself, he'd drive off, and he'd be away from her, and he'd do it. He'd do the wish thing or whatever. And then it would take time for her to come back, like for her to knock on his door, whatever. Not here. He does it right out front of her house when he's just dropped her off, and she never goes inside. She's just there. Why not? It's great. It's great. And I don't know if we've recommended the short that he did, that Curry Barker did, The Chair.
Yeah, I feel like we probably did.
I think we did. We've talked about it on this podcast before, definitely. I'm not sure if we recommended it, but we talked about it. But he's a YouTube guy, and he's done other horror stuff. He's done a lot of like comedy stuff too, which I think it just really plays well into. It's the same Jordan Peele kind of thing where, if you know comedy and cinematography, then you can do great horror, because you not only know how to set something up visually, but timing. Mm-hmm. And timing is everything when it comes to comedy, and it's everything when it comes to horror as well, at least this kind of horror. And I think that he does it flawlessly. I mean, The Chair is a great example. If you haven't watched that short on YouTube, you should go watch that short. It's a great horror short, and it's just a random like idea about a chair, right? Anyway, and I love that a young kid got his shot, to do something, and he did it great. Like I think the casting was great. I think the acting was great. The directing was fantastic. The writing was wonderful. The cinematography was awesome. The music was fantastic. It was subtle in so many places, but it was pointed. I mean, everything from the the scene you just showed, like there's music in it or there's a soundtrack. It's kind of hard to, you don't notice it unless it would be taken away. Like it's just kind of like there to add a little bit of like underneath, but it's not the centerpiece. The centerpiece is Indy's acting and her like freaking out. Like it's just, it's amazing. And then, like I said before, how they did the little quick movements of her. I mean, that's definitely, I don't think it's something that she did. They did that in post, or they did some kind of like ramping.
Yeah, there's some ramping.
Ramp.
I feel like I picked up, and some reversing, like, oh, we'll have her move and then reverse it in post, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then she does it later on in the film towards the end, at the very end, where she's in the living room and he turns around or something like that, and she's behind him and she does that kind of like move. And like, oh my God, please. Oh. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. It was really smart writing. I love, because I was thinking about the whole time, I was like, why doesn't he just go back and get another one and unwish his wish? And they explain that you only get one. And then when he goes to Cooper or to Ian and is like, dude, you have to do this. And he gives it to him and he's like, this is the way out. And he wishes for $1 billion. And it just starts raining. It's just like, it's so great because it's instant.
Yeah.
It's instant too. And we set that up at the beginning because he makes the wish for Nikki and he gets it right away. And so does Ian.
Yeah.
Gets his wish right away. And how would he get that wish? Well, let's make it rain money. Perfect.
Visually interesting. You get the immediate satisfaction of, the wish coming true. And you also get those beautiful reveals, the reaction shots of Ian and Bear. And we just get to watch Bear's face as money rains down.
Dude, his reaction, I felt the pain in his I thought that was one of the best like acting moments of the movie for me, was when Ian makes that wish and we see the money rain down and he realizes he's effed. Like, that's it. I think it might have been the last one. I don't know, but whatever. That was it. And then I love the setup towards the end, or at the end, where he takes the pills and then he snaps out of it. Or he doesn't snap out of it. He snaps into it.
Right, yeah.
Because she obviously had made the wish.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that's what happened. I knew it. And of course he has to die because she needs to come back. Oh, and the last thing I'll say is I loved those moments of terror when she snapped back into it. She snapped back into her body and she just scream. And that was visceral in me. I was like, oh my God, she's trapped. I really believed that. I really believed like she was completely trapped, and she, and they had that moment where she was asleep, or the creature or whatever it was, the other Nikki was asleep and she was there. She's like, kill me, like in bed when she was I loved this movie from the very beginning. I loved it. And I loved it partially because I didn't expect much from it.
Sure.
Because I knew that it was, I didn't know it was a YouTube director, but I knew it was kind of like a lower budget kind of thing. It was just a Blumhouse thing, so like they don't spend millions and millions, like hundreds of millions of dollars on movies. They don't even spend tens of $1 million on movies unless it's like maybe The Purge or something that's already, like proven itself. And I'm not even sure what the budget was in this movie, but I didn't expect a lot of like visual effect. I expected practical stuff, and I feel like I got that in so many ways. They did a lot with lighting and a lot with color, which was so beautiful. And what I think that film lends itself to really well when it comes to horror is those two things, lighting and color. If you get those two things right, you can make up for a lot of other stuff. And they do, but they don't need to make up for anything, because I think it's really great. I'm curious what you think about this, because I know that you've written a lot of horror too, and you're writing something now. And I don't know if it constitutes as horror or not, but maybe, but thriller maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the whole time too, like afterwards, I was like, I really wonder what Wes thinks about this, because I felt like while I was watching it, I was like, am I missing something? You know, am I missing this? Am I missing that? Like, what is it that could make this not as good as I think that it is? And I just couldn't come up with anything. Now, if I saw it again, I might notice some things, but also now knowing that this is a younger director, and this is like his first, like, you know, feature in theaters and stuff like this, I mean, I'm kind of blown away, honestly. I really am. I don't know. I feel like you and I both were like proud of guys or girls, like people who, you know, they make stuff because they love making it, and then that turns into them being able to have an opportunity to like do something like this. You know, we had that same feeling when David Blue got the opportunity to do Chainsaw, and that was its own thing. But like this feels, I don't know, it feels pretty good in a world where Hollywood is shitting the bed in a lot of ways. It's good to see this,
dude. Well said, man. Agreed. Loved it. Like I don't really have a lot of complaints. And the complaints that I have will be so me specific that I don't hold them actually against the film at all. And I think it uses everything, you know, pretty close to maximum effect. Like the efficiency of characters is really strong. Like we don't have a lot of excessive fabric in the movie, which is always a big thing for me. Like, why are you introducing elements that we're not going to use? And I thought he did a fantastic job of using everything he's putting in front of us, with very little exception. And those exceptions don't really matter, to be honest. And I think in retrospect, honestly, the coolest thing for me, looking at this from the writer standpoint, is he didn't really do anything unique here. You know what I mean? Like, it's a monkey's paw story, right? Where you get a wish, but the wish gets perverted. And that's old as time, right? That's not a new idea. I mean, we even open the whole movie on this confession of love. That's a practice, a rehearsal. Literally, how many times have we seen that bit? Like 1,000. We literally might have seen that exact bit 1,000 times before. I mean, that's how I Met Your Mother starts. The whole show starts with a practice fake rehearsal of love or whatever. And so like we've just seen this. There's so much in this movie that we've seen before, and yet it reinforces the idea as it's not always just about the idea. It's about the execution. And the execution here is off the charts. It's so good. You see people for who they are. I don't know about you. I saw Ian as the douchebag buddy who was banging the chick that his best friend has a crush on, like behind his back. You see that like from trivia night, like almost from the beginning. You're like, oh, they're hooking up. Like there's no question they're hooking up. And then it becomes a question of like, when are they going to reveal that, or when they're going to tip the hat on that? Which I loved how long they take, because at a certain point, you take so long to reveal it that you almost start to say, okay, maybe it's something else. And you kind of move away from that idea. Like the anticipation takes too long. And therefore, as an audience, I just kind of started to say, okay, what if it's something else? But I was always waiting for that reveal. And all these characters just line up perfectly. Him, Bear, as like you said, man, this milquetoast dude who won't go for the thing that he wants. And I don't know, man, this whole movie seems to me as I don't know if commentary is the right word, but it's certainly commenting, I think, on like this red pill culture, this incel concept of guys who are, you know, online that feel like they can't get the girl. And it's, to me, an analysis of that, along with this perverse attempt at getting something through manipulation. He never risks anything to get the thing that he wants. And there's something very pernicious about these these thought patterns that say you're owed something that you never risk anything for. And that's what he's doing. I mean, Ian is afraid to tell him because he knows how he feels. Like, Ian's being a bit of a dirtbag friend also. Like, listen, if you want to go out and hook up with whoever, that's fine. But if you know your best friend has the hots for this person, you should definitely have that conversation. Like, as a friend, like, hey, man, listen, I know she's not into you. She made a pass at me or whatever. However you want to start that conversation. Yeah. There needs to be a conversation, though. And so Ian's not being the coolest friend in the world either. But it's also complicated because it's for a reason. Because he knows, one, she's not into him. And then two, he's so crazy about her. And it's been that way for, 7 years, I think he says. Since he moved into town in high school. And she's been such a close friend and confidant and whatever. So there's a really interesting, I think, commentary about that whole, I don't know, subculture. I don't know if it qualifies as a subculture. It feels like it. I don't
think it does.
I think it does. And it's making because effectively she's being assaulted. Like, there's no way to really get around that, right? Like, she's being assaulted and he is not acknowledging it, right? This is a metaphor for assault. And in his mind, she's happy with it, and he completely disconnects from the part of her that's screaming and just focuses on his other personal view of what she's actually, she's enjoying it and she's into me. And it's anything but that. And so I think that's the other part that's usually missing in other movies, which is this has something to say. Now, it's not necessarily ramming it down your throat, about what it's trying to say. It's there for you to explore and interpret. But it is there. Like, there's no question about that. And for me, that's another huge element. Even if it didn't have that, this would still be a solid movie. But because it's there, it adds something else for me to engage with as a film lover and as someone who enjoys layers in films. But I'm sure there's a lot of audience members who will watch this for the first time and just have a great time. Like, oh, that was really messed up. That was crazy. And then walk away. But then other people are going to be having this conversation. And then they'll engage with that. And I think that's the cool thing about movies like this, that even if you as an audience member don't see it or want to engage with it on first viewing, because of how plugged in we are, at some point, I'm assuming anyway, people are having this conversation out there. Like, I haven't looked into any of that. I only saw it the one time. And so my notes aren't very exhaustive on all the ways that it's touching on that. But I assume that those conversations are going to be like bubbling up. And I think it's really cool for that conversation to be happening. And even cooler that it's a guy who wrote this movie and directed this movie. Because that's, this is the kind of thing you might see more from women, directors today than you'd see from men. And so for me, that's really fun and cool to see other guys. Cause I'm very much, I don't know anything about Curry Barker, but like, I'm very much a kind of person who I don't really give a shit if this is a man thing or a woman thing. Like, I just call balls and strikes whenever I'm writing something. I just want to call balls and strikes, and whatever's most interesting that speaks to me on these other levels, I'm just going to write it. And I don't really care if you think it's something I should be writing or should not. The only question I think you should be asking is there something honest and true in the writing and in those experiences? I'll pause for a second. I have a ton of other notes and I haven't even started yet. But what did you make out on that level of writing? Like, this woman and him seeing it and completely removing himself from those elements, right? He hears her screaming in the background. That section where he calls customer service is both hilarious because it's this completely emotionally detached customer service worker who's detached about something wildly messed up. And then it's horrifying because of that other element. And then also hearing her screaming, yeah, we have her. You want to talk to her? Talk to who? Nikki. And when he says her name, that is a different gear that gets switched, because it goes from this guy is just talking to everyone and wishes are wishes, but the fact that he not only knows who he's talking to, but that he has the person there that's affected by the wish, is that switches a different gear in the movie. And for him to then hang up and then continue on as if he could still possibly be actually talking to the real Nikki is a complete cognitive dissonance that exists in our culture in multiple facets. But yeah, what were you seeing on that level? If anything,
now that you say all that, I can totally see it, but I feel like, and maybe in the writing, that is meant to be there, but I didn't get that on first viewing. It doesn't mean that it's not there. I was just thinking, like, if I'm writing this, what would be the most effed up thing that could happen? He hears her screaming, and her screams are fantastic. He hears her screaming and he hangs up. That makes him total, like, even more of a loser. Like, okay, great. Yeah, let's do that. And then probably, like, you think, oh, and that could work on another level, which is this level you were just talking about. So, I mean, or maybe that's the level he wrote on in the first place. I don't know. For me, I just got like, oh, this is really developing him as a character into something different than what I thought that he was. Like, he can assume something's wrong. He can think that maybe it's a wish thing. It's the wish thing. Not really know what that means. Maybe it's just affecting Nikki. But now he and we have found out, no, it's not just affecting Nikki. It took Nikki away. And Nikki is somewhere else. Okay. And she's screaming. Okay. And then he hangs up. Okay. So we learned so much, not just about him, but about the situation and that he's learned now. And so, and the last thing I wanted to say while you were talking, it just made me think of this is in a situation like this, or like in a movie like this, it's so easy for us as a viewer to look at the woman in this, the obsessed woman, and think, oh my God, like, just dump her, like, oh, she's so annoying. Like, that's so annoying that she would be just all over you. But, Indy Navarrete is gorgeous. And not only is she gorgeous, she's sweet. So in the moments that, and they set her character up so well in the beginning by having her give money to that homeless person. And she's just like a loving, and so she's cute and innocent and kind and, maybe a little bit damaged, but that's okay. And like, that makes her even more likable. And so, like, we want to date her, and then this happens, and we're trying to make concessions of like, it's all right, it's not so bad, even though we know what's gonna happen, it's gonna be bad. Like, it's not so bad, like, we make these concessions, and so, like, her effed upness, affects us slowly as much as it affects Bear. So, I mean, and I'm just saying that because, like, if this was like a, like a voluptuous blonde, woman who, like, was less caring, or like wasn't shown to be caring like Nikki was, we would have had no patience, and it would have just been it would have been more annoying and less of a horror, and more of like a dramatic kind of like annoyance.
Yeah.
But because of who she is, because of who they set her up to be, and then it turns into something where it's like, where I want it to be okay, I want it to be real, just like Bear does, and then we find out it's not. It's like, oh man. So anyway, I just wanted to call that out. Like, that casting for something like this is super important, because it just changes the feel of of everything that she does,
Yeah, they do a great job of setting up her character early on, because that first, whatever it is, 20 minutes before she gets abducted, so to speak, is really useful. We really need that time to develop a well-rounded character. Yeah, she does the sweet thing with the giving away the money, but she also has a perspective, and we feel that.
She buys the drinks.
She buys the drinks.
I want to say that too.
Yeah, because there's all these little things that she's doing to establish that she is not a passive character. And those are the elements that we're falling in love with, because there's so many hints at trivia night that lets us know she understands the dynamic that's quietly sitting between her and Bear, right? He wants to buy her a drink. She won't let him pay for the drink, right? Whenever they're outside and she rips off Ian's hat, right? Even as they leave the bar, she takes his hat off. And so we can feel a little bit of more of a playful dynamic between her and another guy. And the way she's treating Bear is a little bit lighter, a little more gentle. Even whenever she's on the way home, she, ew, gross, right? He wants to give her a gift, and she makes that comment and like, ew, gross. And he's like, well, yeah, is it weird that I'm scared? And he's like, yeah, that's a strange reaction to getting a gift. And so they've layered all these hints at she's not really into him, and she's trying to lightly let him know this is a dangerous zone. You're not going to win this fight, because none of these, feelings are welcoming. They're all lightly rejecting. But he's not taking any of those hints. Instead, he's still working up his courage. And then, of course, she gives him that point blank opportunity, asks him, like, now's the time. Do you like me? What? No. And he completely chickens out. And so as an audience, we lose so much respect for him at that point. But they do a great job of building up before he breaks the one Wish Willow. He's had not only all the opportunity in the world, but he's been given all the hints in the world to not go there. Not only from her, but also his best friend. And he's ignoring all of it. And he goes this whole other side route. But all that time spent creating her character is so well utilized, because for the rest of the movie, we keep wanting to see her back. And so, to your point about like, maybe it'll be okay now, there's all these little moments where it feels like he's having a conversation that she's finally going to be like a little more chill. And maybe there's still Nikki in there that can, make it through all the muck. Like the night after that weird night in bed, that first night where she's acting weird as hell. And he wakes up and he's like, hey, you can't do that anymore. And she's like, I know, I won't. Okay, everything be fine. And you're like, okay. You know what? Maybe we'll have one cool day. And then he turns to leave and the door is duct tape closed.
Dude, and the musical cue there was fantastic. It was so good.
Oh, and he has to get out, and you're like, oh, nope, we have not progressed at all.
No.
And that's great. And there's also this little line that towards the beginning on the drive home, she's talking about being a writer. Again, another one of those little things that gives her character, right? She has goals and ambitions. In fact, she's put in her 2 weeks to leave the job that they all work at, which I can't imagine that music store having that many employees, but maybe that's a different question, but it works. It's fine. It's like, we need a reason for them all to be together all the time. Great. But she's leaving so that she can focus on writing, becoming the person she wants to be, and giving her a vision for the future. This is one of those little secret, easy cheats that if you want to make the audience hurt a little bit for a character's death, give them a goal, give them a vision that you can see. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, it could be, I'm getting a new haircut. Man, you think I would look good with short hair? Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Maybe I'll get some streaks. And then bang, they're dead. And you're like, oh, we didn't get to see them
get their haircut.
Yeah. There's a vision that we got in our head about this person and what they wanted to do in life. And she wanted to be a writer. She was like, I got to quit. I got to find another job so that I can focus on writing. Well, what are you writing? And what do you think about this? And we hear a little bit about her story. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you were writing a romance. She says, it's not a romance. It's a love story. and he's confused because isn't that the same thing? And that to me is, the whole movie in a nutshell.
Great line. I remember that.
It's confusing romance and love, and in a very interesting way, because he is a hopeless romantic. That's right there in the synopsis, right? Like, he's this guy that views love in a very Disneyfied way, and his buddy understands what love really is, and it's not this perfect and I love that at the beginning, whenever he has the waitress sit down and pretend to be Nikki, she's like giving advice, and her advice is to like give candy and flowers. Yeah, get her her favorite candy and some flowers. And the best friend is like, get out of here. Like, no, bro, we're not doing that. Like that works in cartoons, man. That does not work in real life. And yeah, that's maybe a slightly different conversation, but the way you want people to fall in love with you isn't often how it works in real life. And he's right. A little bit more teasing creates a little bit more of a flirtatious vibe and a little bit more mystery. And he does not get it at all. He's afraid to risk anything. And therefore, he gets nothing. And the big thing, man, one of the things I really loved, you were talking about cinematography earlier, and the thing that I thought was just fantastic was the silhouettes. After he gets his wish, suddenly, as often as they can, they put her in silhouette so that you can't really see her face. And that's very purposeful. Now, it's not 100% of the time, because you can't always do that. Like the scene that we played, you see her face really well in the restaurant. And we see all these emotional shifts. And I think it's not just appropriate, situationally, they're in a restaurant, let's see her face. But it's also appropriate so that we can gauge how she's suddenly reacting to what he's saying. Your dad doesn't really have cancer, does he? And we see her freeze and slowly. So we need to see her face there. But there's so much more of the movie, a lot, that we can't see her face at all. And it's to create an emotional disconnection from her body and her emotional output. It's like she's just a body, that there's no soul there, right? And so having that disconnect suddenly makes her feel hollow, that everything she's doing is saying, there's no way to register her face as connected with it, because we literally can't see her face. And keeping her in silhouette as much as possible really plays that out. Like, she is just there physically, but there's no soul that's inhabiting this body, which makes it so much more gross. The fact that he is trying to have sex with this corpse, effectively. And that's really effective. But there's another thing that it does, which is covering her face makes us focus on his face. And now there's more time resting on him, his reactions, his emotions. We spend more time in the edit focused on him while she's talking than watching her talk, because there's nothing to see. So whenever she's talking, often we're actually watching his reaction to it. And that's a great 1-2 punch. Because now we're waiting for him to react in whatever way he's gonna, but it's revealing no matter what. It's revealing that he knows what's really going on here. Long after, he finally admits it out loud.
And how cool, speaking of the silhouette shots, the silhouette shot of her in his doorway with the eye light, that was fantastic. Just a little light in her eyes. And you can see, like, if you look close, you can make out her face and stuff, but it's like all you can see, really, all you're really looking at is her eye light, which I thought is, and that's the only time it really happens throughout the rest of the movie. Like, it's not like a prevalent thing where they're making a statement every time she has a silhouette. It's just that one time. And I thought that was really cool. It's just a really easy way to make, because she was in a beautiful dress, and everything, and she's at his doorway, which is what every, right. Like what guys want, like the woman that they want to be at their doorway, throwing themselves at them, right? But instead of looking at that, you're looking at the light in her eyes, which is like
very small.
not right.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's not right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Great call out. So yeah, I would study the silhouettes here if you're interested in just connecting how they motivated the cinematography by the story. Like those two things are completely interwoven in a way that most movies are just going for cheap thrills. This bothers me so much about horror is it's so underthought. And here they were very meticulous about how they were staging scenes, shooting it, and silhouettes played a large role in what they were trying to communicate emotionally with the story. And so along that same lines, I thought the sound effects were fantastic. Great job using an aggressive sound design to complement the story. Now, it still like rubbed me wrong a couple times, but it was effective nonetheless, and very pointed too. It wasn't careless at all. So one of the elements that was so good, it was he comes home, and this is Bear and Ian having had a talk about, okay, yeah, I'm having a party. I didn't want to invite you, but fine, come over, but leave her. Okay, cool. He goes home. She's in the shower, and he's talking to her through the door, and it's not clear that she can hear him. The shower is so loud in the mix, and he is so quiet, and he's just like, yeah, so okay, yeah, and he's having this whole conversation. She's not really acknowledging. Finally, after like several pauses, she says something, and he's like, okay, she can't hear me, I think. And then he's like, okay, so yeah, Ian's having a party, so I'm going to go to that. You know, it's just kind of a boys' night. And then immediately the shower shuts off. What a great use of sound design to reveal how she's reacting. Mm-hmm. We don't need to see her. We know what she's doing. Like, she's having a freak out right now. And this is about to get real uncomfortable real fast. And that's just so simple to make us lean forward and like guess at where is she hearing? Is she not? To like, oh, she's picking up everything and she is not happy about it. Great use of sound design. The other element that at the end actually, is the knocking. Whenever he's in the bathroom, he's trying to use the gun on himself and he's failing. But while all that's happening, right, there's this knocking and it's so aggravating. Like, it's so aggressive and it's so loud. And it's really how other movies use it poorly that this rubs me wrong. Because other movies do it and it's just a poor attempt at agitating the viewer to get you to engage with the movie. Like, stop that baby from crying, and like, stop the knocking, and stop the phone ringing. They use those three specific cheap techniques just to get you to lean forward and pay attention to the movie, and to get you to like cringe, or, you know, to get your hackles up. And they do that, and it's so poorly thought and used. Here, it annoys me because of the way other people use it, but it's very well utilized, because it's letting us know where she is. And yeah, she's there. She's trying to get in. She's trying to get his attention. And that all also plays with her character that they've very well established by this point, through an hour and a half, give or take, whatever, hour and 15 of her being a psycho. And so, yeah, that plays too. But more importantly, he puts the gun down. He picks up the medicine, and we've already seen this medicine, whatever it is, can kill you, right? We saw his cat get into it, so we've established what this can do. And now he's about to take the medicine. The knocking has stopped. Now we don't know where she is. And we're also waiting to hear what's she doing next. And so there's this other element that they're using the knocking for, which is it's gone away. We're waiting for another sound effect, some other cue. And so he takes the medicine, and then when we hear the One Wish Willow music break, we automatically know what's going to happen next. Or we're just waiting for the reveal. And what's so good about this 1-2 punch here is he's changed his mind. He's trying to get himself to cough it up. And he fails. And somehow, because of the way everything's building with them suddenly being psychos for each other, I kind of forgot, honestly, that he had taken the medicine. That he was.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I was.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was like, oh, we're gonna end with them in love, and then I suddenly realized, like, oh crap, that's right. They got me. He completely got me. Because yeah, he overdoses and dies, and she's suddenly off the hook, and well, she's back in her body, but now she's on the hook for everything that's happened, which is a completely psychotic, final reveal. And it's also, I don't know, I think it also goes back to this other element of, once you've used someone for their body, you've left them with the horror of your decisions. And here she is. She has to pick up the pieces and be held accountable for things that she had absolutely no decision over. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's so great. I love it. I love it. I really do. I want to go back and see it again. And I don't say that about horror movies ever, really. I think, I don't know. Even, I don't know. I just, for some reason, really like this, because I feel like, I think, what's his name? Bear gets what he deserves in so many ways. I think, Ian dies hilariously. She just shoots
I have
him
$1
in the
billion.
head. Yeah, it's like, what? There's unexpected deaths, and then we see Sarah's body in the kitchen, which she did not expect. It's just a little extra, like.
And I love that she's trying to take over as Sarah. Like, she thinks this is what Bear wants. Bear wants Sarah. I'll make the little tattoos on my chest, and yeah, just a genius.
And I love. Oh yeah, that's right. I was wondering that, like, why does she have tattoos? Because, like, yeah, she gave herself those because Sarah had those. Brilliant. I didn't even think of that. But I also really like the scene of Sarah and Bear in the car. It just shows how big of a shitbag Bear is, because he finds out Sarah likes him, and you see something about him. He's like, he's into it.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, he's into it. And it's like, wait, if you really wanted Nikki, like, if she was really the one, so much so, like, you couldn't, like, you had to make a wish, and what's going on, that she's trapped, and you won't let her out, and yet Sarah, who is an afterthought in this movie, yes, she's in several scenes, but she's not the main person. She's one of the main characters, I guess, but, like, not in the story, and then all of a sudden she becomes a main character. And he's into that, and he's into her. And you're just like, what do you do? Don't be such a shitbag, man. Like, you're into Nikki, like, and the moment that another girl, like, says that they're into you, like, now you're, like, leaning towards them. Like, what? And that was so anyway, I'm just saying, like, that was a great moment and opportunity that they set up earlier with her, getting rejected from other colleges, and, like, what's the motivation for them to get together? Like, she wants to open the last college application thing with him because she likes him, right? And you can tell that she likes him, kind of like when he eats the cat for lunch, and they're in the which I knew.
Yeah. As
soon as he took it, I was like, there's something going on with that. Like, I don't know what's in there. Didn't expect the cat necessarily, but I knew there was something in there. But anyway, I think it's so smartly, it's written so smart that I can't help but enjoy it. I don't think that there's much that I would have done different, like, I think it's just a smart, simple idea, and horror films with a simple idea are way more effective because they're more believable. You know what I mean? Than, like, these like crazy, otherworldly kind of stories. I'm not saying that those can't happen, but I'm saying it's wonderful to see a simple idea executed so well these days. It just reminds you that, like, there are great filmmakers, man. Hollywood may be shit in the bed in a lot of ways, but fine, let's go to YouTube and find great filmmakers that know how I did see an interview with Curry Barker where he says one of the good things about making YouTube videos is that it tells you how smart the viewers really are.
Wow.
And what I've learned, and I've watched a lot of his stuff, what I've learned from making YouTube videos is that in the comments, they will tell you what they get and what they don't get, what they like, what they don't like, and you just follow that. Like, and it tells you, it doesn't tell you what to make. It just tells you how to make it. Like, people are smart, you know, they're not dumb. And if you write something that for a dumb audience, they're not going to like it, and they'll tell you they don't like it on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's brutal. I mean, that, if you think about it, it's a brutal way to come up as a filmmaker on YouTube, because like, it's unfiltered, you know?
Yeah.
Even with Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, like it's definitely still filtered. It's like through a filtered lens of you have movie buffs, right? But YouTube is different. You have people who care about movies, people who don't give a shit about movies, people who like horror, people who hate horror, you know, younger people, older people. It's a mixed bag. And I just think that he took that and he ran with what he's learned over the years, like doing YouTube stuff. So I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it kind of plays hand in hand with, you know, your comments about, and we've heard Jordan Peele say this, and a lot of people, to your point, like how comedy and horror are so related, because whenever you're talking about like coming up on YouTube, it makes me think of like coming up in comedy doing stand-up. Like, that's real-time feedback. It's
100%.
It's the same thing. Like, if people are watching your stuff on YouTube and they don't like it, no question, they'll let you know. But it also goes to learning how to structure certain things. Like, if you want people to laugh at the joke, you need to set it up in a way that they understand the punchline. And I think some horror, you know, maybe just needs to work at helping the audience understand where the horror is. And this movie does such a good job of setting us up so that we understand the world, how it operates, and why this is horrible. And it's taking a lot of common tropes, man. I'll reiterate that. Like, he didn't reinvent the wheel here. And that should be really encouraging, that you can tell a specific story that everyone's going to freak out about, without creating Tenet. You know, you don't have to suddenly reinvent movie making in order to make a very compelling story. You can do Wish Gone Wrong, one of the oldest tropes in storytelling, you know, and that's so cool. That's a very cool, inspirational approach to making your own statement. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man,
the last thing I'll say, the last thing I'll say is the other thing I liked is that they gave them time together. It wasn't like she was just crazy immediately and like lunatic where she would like kill everybody. It was a gradual thing, and so they actually, like, you know, I don't know how much time passed. Couldn't have been that long, but they had dates. You know, they made love. They they watched movies. She watched him while he watched movies. But like, they had time together, and then it was kind of like, then things started going bad. And I think I like that, because when he finds out that like she's not there, it's not really her, he has more motivation to hold on to what he's got with her. You know what I mean? Like, he actually has, it's not like, oh, she's into me, I think she's, you know, this is great. It's like, no, she's into me and she loves me and I love her, and we've had time to develop that, even if it's just like a week or so, you know. And then also it gives Ian time to think, what is going on? All they've been doing is spending time together, and like, you know, all of a sudden she's like super in, so like gives the friends time to be suspicious about it at the same time. So I thought that was a smart thing too.
Nice.
Anyway, there was a lot of smart stuff about this movie that I think we could all learn a little bit about.
For sure. I think what's really cool, like, the actors are all great casting. I will say, I think it would have been almost as good with almost any other actors. Like, I think you could have replaced Indy, and because of how strong the writing and the directing was, you would have gotten still a really good performance. I do think Indy stepped in and she added so much more. Like, it's not that, you know, she was just completely replaceable. I just think the writing and directing was so strong that if it had been another actor, it would have still been a very, very good movie. I think what pushed it over the top was Indy, and the little things that she was doing, and these little transitions, not even always the big ones where she's snapping back into her body, which are freaking solid. Like, my God. But also these little turns, these little things that she's doing that enhance the psychosis that this character is in, is very specifically nuanced in her. And you can see her making choices, her making actual acting decisions. Same thing with Michael Johnston. He's making all these little choices that add nuance to the character. Whereas I think it's a lot of actors who can step into these roles and play the lines, and it'll be a good movie. But it's all those things in between that makes you understand what they're thinking and feeling before they say the line. Like the line comes as a result of what they're thinking and feeling, as opposed to informing you what they're thinking and feeling through the dialogue. And those are very strong acting decisions that they're making. And that's hard to sometimes quantify when you're watching a performance, because you might say, oh man, they're just great actors, and they are. But it's the stuff that isn't on the page that's going to make it so much stronger that it's hard to teach. You got to be in class. You got to be getting your reps in. You can't just show up on set and expect to be able to do those things. You really have to put in the work, and you have to study. And man, they're all fantastic. Even Cooper Tomlinson, man, I thought he was everyone was just solid. And I was surprised how much I liked it. I don't know what I've seen him in. I'm not good with
YouTube.
faces. YouTube stuff.
Yeah, he's on a lot of the director's shorts.
Okay.
Curry Barker shorts. He's in a lot of them.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But he's solid. Like I saw him in that opening scene. I immediately thought, this guy's going to get on my nerves. And I loved him. I thought he was great.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that they brought him in just enough. You know, like he wasn't always omnipresent. You know, he was there when he needed to be there, and he wasn't when he didn't need to be. And I think that was you don't need to have all your characters on screen all the time. Yeah. You know, like, and he knew this, and he's like, you know, he's almost an antagonist, you know, to the antagonist, right? It's like, so we don't want him to take away from what she's doing by being there, because he's also trying to get in the way of them being together. And so we don't want that to be distracting. So we keep him out of a lot of the scenes. And so he's there just enough. It's like really super smart.
So good.
One thing I said, I saw an interview of some oh gosh, what's his name? Anyway, I forget names. There was an interview with Christoph Waltz, and he was being interviewed about Inglourious Bastards, and the interviewer asked him, "How did you play such an evil character? Like, what did you think about to get into that headspace?" And he was like really confused about the question. He's like, "I don't understand. What are you talking about?" He's like, and the guy repeated it. "How did you like become so evil? Like, how did you play such an evil character?" And he said, "I didn't play an evil character. I played a character, like we all think that we're good. We all think that we're doing the right thing. I played a character that believed he was doing the right thing. It just so happens to look evil to you because you know it's not, or you think that it's not. But my character thought that it was exactly the right thing that he needed to be doing." That is the action, like that is the best piece of acting advice I've ever heard. It for any character, right? For Bear's character, he thinks he's doing right by being wrong about what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, like Nikki or Indy as an actor, like she thinks she's doing right by you know, really going after Bear. Like it's just, if you have a motivation in your character, you can have reactions that feel real, that feel, you know, motivated, because you think that no matter what it is that you're doing, it's right. It's kind of like the my gosh, Infinity War guy.
Yeah,
it's like
Thanos.
Thanos kind of thing. You think you're right.
Yeah,
So
the worst thing, I feel like all of my acting teachers have always said, like, the worst thing you can do is judge the character you're playing. Like, the moment you do that, the moment they stop feeling like a real character, because you're playing an evil character evilly. Like, that's what a cartoon is, you know, but And so the worst action Christoph Waltz could have taken, right, was to say, I'm playing an evil character. You've already judged your character, and now you're going to tip your hat one way, and we're going to stop seeing a real person. Like, Nikki felt so unhinged because she really was trying to win Bear's affection. And she was doing it the best way that she knew how. And that was what terrified us. If Indy had played her, you know, in a way that she knew what she was doing was unhinged, we would have completely disconnected and said, this is now not creepy. It's like silly. And we would have caught on to the silliness, and it would have betrayed everything she was doing on screen. Like, she can't judge Nikki for what she's doing. She has to really play it as if this is a good thing and everything. So don't judge your characters. You know, it's tempting, but you gotta identify with whatever it is that they're doing and their reasons, and find it. That's your job as an actor. Nice. So what are you going to recommend this week?
Yesterday or last night, or was it Friday night? Friday night, we sat down and we were looking for something to watch, and it was me and Simon and Jenny. And Jenny doesn't really watch movies at all, much less like with anybody. But we were into it, and we found on Netflix this movie based off a book called Remarkably Bright Creatures, and really just loved it. It has Sally Field in it, who just demoralizes you. She's so good. She's always been so good, and she's fantastic. Alfred Molina is in it. It's about an octopus, which I just love octopi and octopuses, whatever you want to call it. And it's just really pretty. I mean, it's cheesy in a lot of ways, but it was a really wonderful experience that I had with my son and my wife watching this movie, and I thought it was well done and beautiful in so many ways. So, Remarkably Bright Creatures.
Nice. I'll check that out. I'm always down for a little Sally Fields. I'm going to recommend an older film from 1990 called Jacob's Ladder. If you're looking for something else that's trippy, that has something to say, and will make you question your life, Tim Robbins is the truth, man. I recommend Jacob's Ladder. I'll just leave it. Go explore that little bit of cinema history and see for yourself. Nice. Stay tuned for next week. We go back to the movies, something a little more lighthearted with The Mandalorian and Grogu. So we'll see what those kooky Jedi people are up to. And if you're enjoying the show, don't forget, subscribe, drop us a review, and you can leave us a note on this episode if you like at thepestlepodcast.com/obsession.
This is so great. Our quote of the day is from W.B. Yeats. Yates? Yeah. Do not wait to strike till the iron is hot, but make it hot by striking. Yeah. I wish I would have known stuff like this when I was a kid, you know, like nobody ever told me any of this kind of stuff. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, I mean, you just have to do stuff. If you don't do anything, they're not coming. Nobody's coming for you.
No.
You know what I mean? You just gotta do it. Anybody who's done anything has just done it, and the results come from it. And then I also thought about this yesterday, about the whole idea of life is what happens when you're making plans, kind of thing. And I thought, because I've thought about my life and about what I wanted when I was a kid, and then what I wanted when I was a 20-year-old, and wanted when I was a 30-year-old, and it's all kind of like you can't plan on where you want to end up. You just do what you love doing. As long as you're doing that, then you're going to end up someplace good. You know what I mean? And because that's all I ever did was like what I thought the next right thing should have been. And I'm not saying my life is perfect, but it's I think infinitely better than it would have been had I not done that. Had I not just done the next right thing that I thought I should have done, whatever that might be, whether that's giving $20 to the guy in the corner at some time, or whether that's, pushing hard to get a gig, or whether that's, rehearsing 7 days a week, or or whether that's, running a marathon, like, it doesn't matter. Or whether that's being at home with my kids for a night. Like, it's just every decision needs to be motivated by something. You know what I mean? And however you end up, like, what is the saying? Aim for the moon and you'll end up amongst the stars, or something like that.
Aim for the stars, you'll hit the moon.
Doesn't matter if you hit the moon. Yeah, something like that. It's just like you gotta go for it. You gotta do. Anyway.
Yeah.
Great quote, man.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I just saw him, right, Bear, having laid out right in front of him the opportunity to say, yeah, I like you. Let's get a drink or whatever. And completely passing it over. Like, the fear of rejection is such a strong demotivator, right? Or motivator to run and hide. Like, man, but I got to tell you, man, there's nothing better in the world than taking a risk and succeeding. Man, trying to fail sucks. Like, it definitely sucks. But trying to win, can't beat it. Nothing in life is better than asking a girl out and that you're really excited about and she says yes. Nothing's better than making a piece of art and showing it to someone and watching them cry. Like, shit, take some risks. Yeah, throw the dice. This is all we get. This is it. I don't care if you believe in an afterlife or not. This is the only time you're going to have on this planet. One way or another. Fucking go for it.
Dude, I have been so thinking about that lately. Maybe because I'm old. I'm 46. But, like, I've been so thinking about this is it. I mean, when you're a kid, you just never think that it's going to end, or you never think that you're going to be 45, or you never think, like, you just always think you have so much time. Or not that time doesn't even exist is what you think. Not even that you have a lot of it, that it doesn't end, like that you're just here right now, and there is no tomorrow. You just are. And as beautiful and wonderful as that is, at some point you kind of come up for air and you realize, oh, no, it is fleeting and it is going away and there is no more of it. And it's just like, well, I think it must be because, like, my kids are getting older. Like, my son is 13. And within 8 years, I'm not going to have kids in the house. Like, I can't even imagine what that's going to be like. So it's just like, yeah, you're totally right. Time. They're not making any more of it. So.
Nope. This is it.
Yeah. Anyway, wonderful. Loved talking to you about this. I'm glad that we agree on this film. It's so much fun and enjoyable. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Make sure to subscribe, review us wherever you get your podcast, share us with a friend. And if there's a film you'd like to see us talk about or pick apart, let us know and maybe we will cover it. Until next time, I'm Todd.
I'm Wes.
Go watch the movies.